he's a mature 22.
Fastball got in on him, a soft fly ball. Hermida loping over, and he's there. His grandfather won a triple crown in the Negro Leagues. And that smacked into left field. Hermida coming over. Hairston got a good jump, and he's going to score. And the Reds are on top 1-0. 0-2 coming. There's a drive into left center field. Amezaga is over. Alfredo's there, and he makes the catch. All right, our first even.
That play many times.
2-2 pitch. Volstad gets a strikeout. A sloppy first inning. He was great at it in the first week. Struggled for a couple of weeks and is starting to come back to where he was, but he doesn't identify that. That's a. And you can change your act. We're not going to promote you. Oakland.
The complete game, Mike Norris.
Hanley hits a high pop, shallow center. Phillips is out. Taveras is in, and he makes the catch. And Volquez. So stick around, Gary. Maybe you'll see that tonight. Bonifacio flips it on over to first. Working on blocking and receiving skills before the ball game. Now that's the pitch, Tommy. We always focus intently on the mustache. We'd remember that one. That one, Volstad, I think, thought.
Yeah, you could see his reaction too.
Soft line drive over Ugla's head into right field. It nestles in, and great postseason series that nobody really remembers. And that was a terrific series.
Has that kind of control, he can be tough.
Breaking ball. Cantu reaches out and sends it out to center field. The out to be. Ugla smacks it into left. Dive. Did he get it? That's a catch.
Dan Ugla needs to get a break here sooner or later. Another.
And there is the circle change. We will talk deep.
Rule of thumb that says every 10 runs is about a win. So 100 runs saved. Their defense cost them, saved them 10 runs.
And Cincinnati lead. We're going to dip into our email bag. It's Email Tuesday. Votto is running. Baker is throwing. And that ball's going to skip into center field. That'll be an E2 in next year's edition of the Fielding Bible. And Votto ends up.
Pitchers can throw them out. So, you know, pitchers holding runners is much more important in the running game than how the catcher can throw.
Ground ball through the drawn-in infield. And the throwing error is big because it brought the infield in. And Phillips' ground ball sneaks into left field. And the Marlins, who have made 2 errors tonight.
And despite his speed, he's not known to be a good left fielder. But one thing that he does do is one of the best.
Well, I'm glad that Regis Philbin is not here. Ow, Cody Ross gets hit by that.
A little more shallow, and balls hit into the hole. You know, he has a tough time making that throw. That's why he has that patented jump throw. It allows him to release the ball more quickly, but it doesn't have the
your defensive equation.
Well, Chase Utley is an absolute interesting case, and I call what he does ultra positional.
And people say, well, you're Marlins broadcasters.
Right.
But Freddie Gonzalez says it. He sees it firsthand.
And, you know, the amazing thing, John, talking about Amezaga, he had never played center field in his life until 2006, I believe. And the Marlins needed somebody to play center. He volunteered out in Wrigley Field. Let's talk about Hanley Ramirez at shortstop. The Marlins in the offseason were hoping that Hanley could take a step forward like other young shortstops do as they get older. How has he done this year?
Gonzalez says it. He sees it firsthand.
And, you know, the amazing thing, John, talking about Amezaga, he had never played center field in his life until 2006, I believe. And the Marlins needed somebody to play center. He volunteered out in Wrigley Field. Let's talk about Hanley Ramirez.
That his fielding is turning around. 2 years ago, in 07, he had a very poor defensive season and cost the Marlins about 27 runs. But he's starting.
Pleasure. Emilio Bonifacio leads it off against Edinson Volquez. Runs up, chops one, and a nice.
Going back in time, and so we're starting to gather that play-by-play information and start to look at.
It was a lot of fun to finally bounce some of these questions off of you tonight.
Well, thanks so much for having me on the show. You know, when I was doing the book, I didn't have a life. That was all. For months I was working on the book, but now I'm back with my wife and 2 kids.
Here comes a play at the plate, John. And John Baker is out at the the plate. Cantu popping up. Hernandez back to the screen, and he has.
And Volquez and Chris Volsat throwing pretty well himself.
Ugla.
Defense.
Buena
Diving
defensa
stop
de
on the
Dan
first.
Ugla para sacar el out.
Nicely done. All right, guys, have a good show. Really bad night in an exhibition game. Line shot in the left field. Taveras. Taveras not running. Gorgeous bunt. Beautiful bunt. And Bonifacio picks it up. Hairston has a
right there.
Reds drafted him in the second round in 0-2, and Votto walks.
That had hit him pretty well.
2-2 line drive, base hit, right center. This is trouble. The score at least two. Taveras and Hairston score, and the Reds have one like that. Apparently he felt he was reading his lips because Clark hit a home run. Marlins. Ugla hit a sinking line drive that was trapped in left field, and so he pops this one up. Phillips is out there, makes the catch.
It just frees it up. It frees up the swing as you take it through the zone. And you'll watch a lot of hitters, and they have that bottom half finger up.
Almost a diving catch. Hairston knocks it towards the line, and he is flat on his back. Throws his glove down. Ross hits the ball to center field, hits it pretty well. Taveras goes back, got turned around, makes the catch. Ameziga puts it in the air. Out to Taveras, who makes the.
Put him in the outfield. You saw that strong relay throw.
How about another Land Rover extraordinary play? Bonifacio. Rosales bid for a base.
I think every outing for Matt Lindstrom is just progress for him.
Out in the air to center field. But I think Alex is on to.
We go to Denver, and then we go to Milwaukee. Would be to ask Trevor Hoffman that same question. And I would think he would answer that. More work, the better he is.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask. Boy, only 66 pitches. There's the off-speed pitch, and it's popped into shallow left. Hairston is out there, and he makes the catch. Email question. Here's the pitch to Bonifacio.
35 straight. And if my memory. And again. So 3 straight changeups. That game, I remember a long double header, though.
Hanley swing. Snapped off a.
Me or Frank? That's the. Was this the same one Frank was wearing?
I think it looked best on Bobby Dorfman last
It
night.
looked really good on Bobby, yeah.
Out to center field. Ameziga makes the catch. Here's Hairston. Hairston lines one down the right field line, and he's going to run a bit. Into the corner goes Ross. Hairston headed for second. Hairston around second. He'll hold right there. He thought about 3.
And I think from what we saw and in talking to the coaches and to.
Runners will be on the move. There they go. Here's the pitch. There it goes. Deep left field. I mean deep left field. Down the line. And gone. Brandon Phillips, I know it's just a 2-game series, but he certainly is enjoying his stay in South Florida. Goodness.
He's not going to want to leave. I mean, he has played his just to see if it got to the upper deck.
Into right field, a base hit by Jay Bruce. The outs with runners in scoring position. Rich and Tommy, is Dad always right?
Not in this case.
Throw to
For a while in the National League Central, and they could get to postseason. Johnny Cueto.
Hooker takes his.
Stay together. They do change up every once in a while.
That is strike 3. Closely. Ross strikes out. Volquez walked the first. Ameziga rolls over on one. Phillips.
Maybe his day to throw on the side. You'd see him come in and pitch an inning and just work on some things. Talked to Jim Cott about that a lot.
Sharp single to left.
And if you maybe get Nancy over the corner, she can give you a few bowling tips.
Oh, Volquez bunting fell over.
He looks like he's okay.
He made a swing and
concentrate in these situations. And the veteran Ross Glode with concentration.
Curatone. Bonifacio with a high fly ball right field. Lance Nix is over and he makes.
Originally occupies the base. It's his base.
So the guy that came from second, I was safe. Lined into the gap.
Boy, this guy can hit.
Over. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, because they see some of the draft picks make. That's a smash, and that's fair inside the line. Headed towards third. Votto will hold there. Check swing.
Feel he has a better chance to get a hit off this guy.
With 2 outs, that ball is going to take Herrera.
And I think sometimes you're tempted.
To Mr. Reds. Cantu. Couple hops for Hairston. On Marlins Live, since it's Cinco de Mayo, we will show the amazing Amezaga play. How about that? Swing and a miss. Uggla goes down. And the Reds win at 7-0.